Hey guys! So I know it's been like a week since I uploaded. I didn't mean for that to happen. There was just a lot going on here, and um, yeah, before I knew it, a week had passed. All that said, there's been some exciting stuff going on, so you should be seeing some different videos from me in the next, say, 2 weeks or so. I mean, as well as my regular content. But for all of you guys who wanted a workout routine, might be on the horizon. Anyway, um, I did a video last week on seizures and how to be prepared, what to look out for. And then after I did that, I realized that I like missed a bunch of major topics. So I'm gonna quickly go through those today. And I have a few little notes so I don't forget them again. And the first major thing I would suggest if you are learning to live with seizures on your own, or you were just diagnosed with a type of seizure disorder, is to have a set of instructions. Mine usually hang just to the right of this hat, kind of right in this area, but the frame broke, so I have to get a new frame. And it just instructs people what to do, not to panic, like, all those types of things, different questions they can ask me if they were present while one is happening. For me, it's just more of a sense of security than anything. I haven't had a seizure grand mal or petite mal in a very long time, so it's just more of a safety thing just in case. But that's nice to have there so that people, first, they know that you know that this is an issue, and they know that they don't have to overreact because the instructions are right there. The other thing is to, if you are someone like me who has like auras before seizures or has some type of warning signs, try and let maybe a couple of coworkers know. If you work in an office that often people will share offices, or things like that, I always let a couple of the people who I like see on a daily basis, an hourly basis, I let them know that, like, hey, if I have like these type of symptoms, just know that, like, I could be having like a seizure alert day, or I could potentially be having a seizure, so you might need to snap me out of it, or then they just have a bit of a heads up, and they're not gonna be surprised or really nervous if it does happen while they're present. The other thing is to write down, if you keep a journal or like a diary. I would just actually put mine right in with my regular day, and then I would flag that day for the neurologist. Even I would like flag the day, and I would flag the paragraph that talked about like the symptoms that I was having, how it felt, all that type of stuff. I would like write that in with my regular journal. So it would be like, Dear Diary, this is what happened today, and then blah 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 blah. And I also was having a seizure alert day, and this is how it felt. Blah 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 blah. Once that passed, blah 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 blah. And by the way, I think I like so and so. Well, like, that wasn't the exact phrasing, but it was just a part of my day, so I would just put it in there as a part of my day. But if you would like to keep a separate journal for that, or even just a notepad where you like write your symptoms down, that's always good, because with a lot of those specialist appointments, at least in my experience, they take forever to get, and then when you finally do get them, it's hard because, well, they'll say, well, what did it feel like? What did you smell? What were you doing that day? And it's like, I really couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what I even had for breakfast. So, it's good to have it all written down for yourself and for them, because, like, in my experience, they will then just photocopy that, and then I don't have to necessarily go back and tell them again and again what sort of happened. Whereas now, the neurologist I go to, I can call him up and say, like, well, there was a incident this morning, and this is what happened, and from my previous entries in my journals of what I reported to them, they can say, oh, so did it feel like blah blah blah, or all that type of thing. So that's kind of also good to know. It just kind of expedites the process, and just makes it a little less painful for everybody. And the next thing is to avoid activities that cause seizures. So for me, I'm not a club person in any stretch, but I would avoid going to a lot of nightclubs or things where I know there's flashing lights, movies that have a lot of action in them often have just a lot of interesting effects. And so what I'll do then is I'll just put my head down and have one of my friends tell me when it's over. But yeah, just avoid those types of activities if you can. And then actually the very last thing that I'm going to mention is if you do have a wallet card from an EpiPen or a seizure alert bracelet like I have, when you order your seizure alert bracelet, and this is just my own tip, I got 2 cards. The first one in the seizure alert bracelet that I got was free, but then I think I had to pay maybe $1 or $2 for the second one. It wasn't really expensive, but what I did was I then took the second card, and I was able to write all my information on that card and kind of put it on my desk at work, so that it's in a place that's not hidden but not visible, right? You would have to go behind my desk and you would kind of have to know what you were looking for, but it's easily seen if anything does happen at work. They know exactly who to call, and medications, and they can basically take the wallet card off of my desk. Well, they don't necessarily need to, but they could, because I have one in my wallet as well. And give it to the paramedics if they absolutely needed to. But thankfully that hasn't happened yet, and knock on wood, it doesn't. But there's a final tip for you. And with all that said, I also want to say, if you do have any kind of seizure disorder or are dealing with seizures, you may feel, depending on how severe they are, that, you know, you're kind of held captive by this. And I would say to that, really just live your life. Try not to let this define you, because it doesn't. I'm sure there are many, many, many more things that make you who you are than the fact that you might have to wear a medical alert bracelet and have a wallet card taped to your desk. Like, you really should live your life. Find the things that are fun to you, and you know what? Do crazy stuff if you want to. Like, even if you think like, oh, might not have the energy for this, or oh, this might set off a seizure. Yes, it might, but it also might not, and I wouldn't want anybody to live with regrets. At least I try not to. And yeah, I have gotten myself into at least 1 to 2 kind of accidents, but I take full responsibility for that, and I actually look back on those times and I think, like, that was really fun up until, you know, whatever happened, but you really should try and, like, live your life to the fullest. I know people say that all the time, and it's seemingly very, very cliche, but it's because it's so true, and people say it because they don't necessarily know what to say to express to you that whatever your ailment, illness, disability may be, you can make a life for yourself that is as great or as poor as you want it to be, right? Like, quality of life is different for everyone, and I guess I'm saying that truly I want anybody and everybody to be living the best life they want to for them.